I've got a quick roundup of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms news to share, including whether Dunk was truly knighted, which characters might return, and what Season 2 is shaping up to explore. Let's start with Maekar. Sam, Maekar's actor, recently confirmed that as of now, he won't be back for Season 2. He said, "I'm not going to be in Season 2. Well, we'll see. Never say never, but I'm pretty sure there will be other stories to tell." That Never Say Never is doing a lot of work. Now, the Sworn Sword doesn't feature Maekar, so his absence makes sense, but I could absolutely see a brief cameo, maybe Maekar sending Aegon's ring to the Citadel once he learns Egg is there, or a quiet, emotionally loaded scene of him passing something along through Aemond. It wouldn't need to be big, just enough to remind us of the complicated father-son dynamic simmering in the background. Speaking of possible returns, Daniel, who plays Lionel Baratheon, has made it very clear he'd love to come back. He said, "I couldn't possibly comment on Series 2, but I would love for audiences to get to see Lionel Baratheon again. He's not in the second book or the third, but George told me on set, you know, your character comes back later down the line." And that's true. If you dig into the broader Westeros history, Lionel absolutely reconnects with Dunk later in life, though under much less friendly circumstances. We also know Dunk will eventually have ties to Tarth, whether directly or through descendants, so a return to the Stormlands at some point wouldn't feel out of place. It wouldn't be Season 2 material necessarily, but long term, the groundwork is there. Now let's talk about the question everyone keeps debating. Was Dunk actually knighted? Showrunner Ira Parker addressed it directly. He explained that in the final moment with Sir Arlen, Dunk asks why he was never knighted. Arlen dies and then appears again in that almost dreamlike continuation. Parker clarified, "At that moment, Dunk had never been knighted by Sir Arlen. There is no confirmation one way or the other coming out of that scene. That's exactly how Mr. R.R. Martin requested it. It remains ambiguous and people can decide for themselves." And honestly, I love that. The ambiguity is the point. Dunk embodies knighthood whether the ceremony happened or not. Leaving it unresolved honors George's intent and preserves one of the central tensions of his character. Parker also revealed something pretty funny about the title of the show. Apparently, George was adamant about one thing. Just don't call it Dunk and Egg. It sounds like a sitcom. And Parker admitted that late in post-production he briefly wavered, thinking, everyone's going to call it Dunk and Egg anyway. But ultimately they stuck with the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. And I agree, it sounds grander, more mythic. Let the fans use the nickname, keep the official title epic. Now for the Season 2 tease. Parker confirmed they do go to Dorne. How much of that we cover, I'll leave up to the people to tune in for Season 2. For the most part, we're following the books. So Season 1 was the Hedge Knight, Season 2 is the Sworn Sword. Hopefully we get Season 3, it'll be the Mystery Knight. This is interesting because the Sworn Sword primarily takes place in the Reach, but canonically, between the Hedge Knight and the Sworn Sword, Dunk and Egg travel to Dorne and then to the Citadel and Old Town. That journey happens off-page in the novellas, which means the show has room to expand. At the Citadel, they meet Egg's brother Aemon, yes, that Aemon, long before he becomes the Maester at Castle Black. That's rich storytelling territory, Targaryen family dynamics, political tension, emotional growth for Dunk, and a chance to show how much Dunk and Egg have changed between adventures. So I could absolutely see Season 2 opening with Dorne or Old Town, maybe even dedicating an episode to bridging the gap between before settling into the Reach storyline of the Sworn Sword. And honestly, more wandering Westeros with Dunk and Egg sounds perfect to me, because the magic of this series isn't just in these big historical events, it's the journey between them. Okay, thanks for listening to my brief update on A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Like, subscribe, come back for more A Song of Ice and Fire videos.